Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm excited to share this one with you for sure. This is, for my money, one of the best kept secrets of Paris when it comes to its flowery public parks. It's called, in fact, the Parc Floral de Paris, or the Flowery Park of Paris. And it's tucked away here in the Bois de Vincennes, next to the Château de Vincennes on the eastern edge of the city. And it was recently, in 1969, that this park was created. The city enlisted the talents of a horticultural engineer by the name of Daniel Colin. And Mr. Colin created this vast multi-acre public park that was designed to allow the locals not only to appreciate and interact with nature, but also to learn about it. It's an educational park as well, and there's a horticultural library here, there's a laboratory, there are several plaques and signs to help you learn about what you're looking at, and it really was dedicated to showcase the species of flowers and plants and ferns and trees and you name it. It's also a place full of playgrounds for kids and mini golf and a concert venue and a beautiful lake and some peacocks, as you can hear in the background, roaming around. And it's really just the best place to enjoy the springtime blooms. And we are, for reference, in late April at the moment. And there is not one but 3 tulip gardens here to enjoy. So we're going to start with those, and then it's just going to be a buffet of color from there on. So how about we jump right into it without further ado, and I look forward to sharing this with you. Okay, so let's get a proper introduction to this absolutely stunning tulip garden. And as I said, there are 3 of these that I will show you right away. And the fun is to find all the different perspectives where you can fill in the frame as much as possible with these flowers. But as you can see, I'm surrounded by them. And you may have noticed already that what's spectacular, of course, these city gardeners really know what they're doing, and they've not only just placed a bunch of tulips here, but all of this lovely stuff that's on the ground floor, so to speak. These beautiful puffy guys here, and you've got just a perfect amount of sunlight beaming through. Get ready for some composition work here, because I'm going to do my best to frame this all up for you as pretty as I can. I have noticed all around the city and even in my own backyard that this spring, in particular this year, seems to be very lush. I guess we had the right combination of sun and rain and temperatures. And I came through here yesterday giving a tour to one of our lovely community members, Linda Rothrock. Shout out to Linda. And to be honest, Linda and I had such a lovely time here and so thoroughly enjoyed the blooms of the park. I immediately yesterday decided I've got to come the very next morning and film this place for y'all. So yeah, it was not on the plan, but how could I see this yesterday and not immediately come back the next morning? I was literally the first one at the gate this morning waiting for it to open up at 9:30. So I can't possibly show you every angle, but I'm going to do my best to at least give you a great idea. Again, we can hear in the background there are a couple of peacocks that reside here. And when Linda and I were here yesterday, we got a spectacular show of one of the peacocks who just came right up to us and opened up all of its feathers right in front of us and stood there for at least 10 straight minutes. Just the 2 of us and the peacock. He was putting on his full display, and it was absolutely stunning. It's also nice what they did here with the walkways, as you can see, rather unique. Let me tuck myself away into the corner and see how much of this we can get. Now, for those of you who are saying, oh my, I gotta go see this for myself, absolutely. Well, it's very easy to get here. You can take the number 1 metro line and you take it all the way to the end, which is the Château de Vincennes. It's the last station. And it'll pop you out at the Château de Vincennes, and then you simply need to walk south a little bit to the entrance of the Parc Floral. It's very easy to get to, it's a very safe area, and I recommend that you check it out. Just be aware, double check the opening times according to the season that you're here. But this is, I mean, what more can I say? This is maybe one of those episodes where I need to sometimes shut up and just let the visuals do the talking. I believe there's just one bench in this space, just right there, but it's a heck of a view, and sometimes I see the local gents out here reading a book. I couldn't have asked for better weather. Very mild temps, and originally a cloudy morning, but the sun came through just in time. Okay, well, you know me, I could stay here for the entire episode and literally just dedicate it to these, but let's move on, because I've got a whole big park to explore with you. I mentioned there are 3 tulip gardens, and let me take you through to the others. Because to be honest, just that one that we saw, that would be more than enough. Of course, we would all be very grateful, but we've got this one too. Different color palette, and some different species as well. I'll zoom in on those for you. I'm gonna keep my voice down because there's a gardener here to the right, doing her morning work. So here we've got these. Again, I'm not afraid to admit that I'm woefully inept when it comes to knowing the names of flowers and trees. So I won't even try to figure out what kind of species these are, but you can see they're more pointy. And then also these white ones have a very frayed, they're tulips, but they have a very frayed type of edge to them. Can't imagine the amount of work and time it takes to keep these, not only to plant them, but just to keep them going and maintain and keep the weeds out and all of that. My goodness. Now I'm going to blow your minds when I tell you the entrance fee to get in here. €2.50, $2.50 per person, per adult, to get into this park. And if you are into gardening or flowers or even just beautiful colors like this at springtime, tell me that's not a spectacular deal. So that's the second tulip garden. We're absolutely spoiled, aren't we? Let me take you to the third. Got an extra little patch right there. That's not the third. The third one's over here. These again are those frayed edge versions here. You know what I'm talking about. And they've got different layers. It sort of steps down here in the center. So there you are. You can sort of see from where we are, we're one tulip garden, and then the one in the center of your screen, and then the one where we started just further there. And the Parc Floral it's about all kinds of things, but you can see here beautiful quiet morning sunlight coming through the forest. There are some picnic tables over there. And as I said before, this is very much a park designed for local families to come and interact. And so you can come here and you can picnic, take the kids to the playgrounds, which my wife and I often do, and events and concerts and a puppet theater for kids and a couple of restaurants and all sorts of things. So here you can see these are some, I'm going to assume sort of prehistoric ferns, but look at that color, just boom. I couldn't ask for better sunlight right now. So there's a transporting aspect as well, because we see things that are not necessarily native to France or necessarily native to our time period. Just for fun, I'll flash you the name of that. This whole section here is dedicated to ferns, but what I want to really show you today is the all the beautiful colors. We'll go this way, because you can just meander around and see these amazing, like I said yesterday, I was here and I said to myself, I absolutely need to come back immediately the next morning to capture the colors that are popping here, and you'll see what I mean. For those of you who like to take screenshots of these episodes, enjoy, honestly, because this is about as spectacular a garden episode as I may ever record. This little squirrel character. Take you through this way. Here we've got a marionette theater for kids. One of two restaurants. I've eaten at this one, not too bad at all. Certainly does the job. And I wanted to bring you over here for some major splashes of color like this one right here. Now I did check on this one, these are azaleas. And the colors are just pretty mind-blowing. These gorgeous little pink clouds. In fact, yesterday when I was walking through here, I referred to them often as just little fireworks explosions, firework display. Some are small, some, as you'll see, are enormous. What we've got tucked away here is a bit of a Japanese style pond. This park was created in '69, and a few years previous there had been the very famous Olympics in Tokyo. And of course, back when the Olympics were a big deal and everybody was paying attention, it was a little bit of Japan mania for a short time in Paris and other cities. And so there is a little bit of a Japanese influence to this park. And it is said that it was the Tokyo Olympics that inspired it. There are also here, haven't mentioned yet, individual pavilions along the way that act as essentially greenhouses where they store the tropical plants and humid climate plants and ferns and things. And I'm definitely going to show you a bunch of that as well. There's even a cute little pavilion dedicated to bonsai trees, which I love. I love me a cute little bonsai tree. A patch of purple there under the trees. And it's school vacation, so there will be a lot of kids groups coming through the park. This section says, oops, sorry, says rhododendrons. But if I'm not, again, I'm not an expert, but I think I saw that rhododendrons and azaleas are the same. The two terms are used for the same plant or flower. Forgive me if that's wrong in some way, but I believe that that's what I saw. But I mean, I hope you can get a sense of the size of this thing. Can't even get it all in frame. So some of you may be watching this as a premiere on YouTube. If you are, and you're just arriving, then this is the Parc Floral on the eastern edge of Paris at the Bois de Vincennes. And if you're watching the premiere, don't forget you can turn up the resolution to 1080p. Check this out. So we just got all these meandering sort of forest paths. And then, boom, all of a sudden a gorgeous splash of color. And I really want to show you what's behind me. There's a lady on a bench. We're going to try to do this discreetly without bothering her. And these are colors that almost, certainly when you're here in person, almost feel surreal. In the truest sense of the term. I mean, not quite real. Look at this. Absolutely dreamy. Look at this tree on the right side. I'm going to follow it up. It's got a beautiful contour. It just keeps going and going. It joins its friends all the way over there. Whatever this is on the lower level there is such a beautiful blanket of white here. And then up above, look at that. I should remember to get some good close-ups for you. As you can imagine, we've just got occasionally a pleasant odor wafting through these walkways. And even though it's the very end of camellia season, there are a few hanging on here. Let me try to show you. Still a couple of stragglers that are looking wonderful. Big fan of camellias, personally. That's probably why it's one of the few names I can remember. A splash of purple there. But we're going to head through here. I'm going to stick to the sunny side of the street. Look at this view. absolutely delicious. And this one absolutely blew my mind. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Wow. There's even a little tunnel I wish I could crawl through. Oh, pardon. Just hit this guy's wheelbarrow. Look at the size of this thing. Tell me that is just not absolutely worth €2.50 to enter this place. Wow. It's so fun to hang out under here, have a little picnic. It's like confetti on the ground. I got the sun coming through on the other side in a big way. More camellias here that are hanging on. And the camellias are a flower that always still look pretty good even when they fall off. Love that beautiful, soft, satiny feel. Gorgeous. We'll leave you there, my friend. So from some of these vantage points, you just kind of scan your eyes across and you're finding an absolute rainbow of colors. Again, this is late April. If you're perhaps looking to recreate a little bit of this in person one of these years. But, I mean, you can absolutely come any time of the year. For example, in May, They're not in bloom yet at the moment, but if you come here in May, they have very large lily gardens. So you could see just endless beds of beautiful lilies, and that'll happen in May. And then of course, once the roses arrive, that'll be a whole other season. And these gardeners of the Parc Floral, they are absolutely on top of it. They know exactly what to plant and when to plant it and how to make it look as beautiful as possible. There's really when Linda and I were here yesterday, we talked about how there's a clear attention to detail. And just, for example, the way that those tulips were laid out and how these walkways are designed to give you, put on quite a show, really. Just oohing and eyeing my way through this place. Yesterday there were artists coming through here and drawing and painting in various parts of the park. And I don't know if the artist did this or somebody else, but you can see some of the camellias that had fallen. They put them on this little stump, which I think is kind of pretty with the green. And again, don't forget, I mean, got every shade of green possible in these trees, but the trees themselves are quite remarkable and quite unique, and just to give you an idea of what the experience actually is like here. I mean, just all the way up. All right, how about I take you into some of those little greenhouse spaces with the tropical climate plants, because that's fun as well. And one last splash of color here before we leave this section. It's okay, ça va, allez-y. And talk about stragglers. It's not at all magnolia season anymore, but we've got a few holding on for dear life here. And they're not in particularly great shape, but kudos to the magnolias. They're some of the last ones that I've seen hanging on till the bitter end, these magnolias. And we love them for it. Okay, greenhouses, just right over there. The sun-dappled forest vibe. Because as if this weren't all lovely enough with the forest walks and the tulip gardens, we've got these pavilions here. And you can see they're not too far away, so let's cut across. I particularly love these rooms where you can walk in and all of a sudden they're enclosed and they're quiet. And you can see rather exotic things that you wouldn't see outdoors, of course. This is, again, I showed you this a little bit earlier, the Japanese style pond. Lovely reflections today. funny to pipe in the authentic soundtrack. Look at how great these leaves are. Quite like the bark of this tree as well. Very pineapple-esque. So there are several of these pavilions here, and I'll try to show you as many as I can today. Look at this unique bench. Love the design of this bench and also against the brick wall. Perfect. Whew. It's getting a little bit humid in here. Let me show you some of the other rooms as well. Drive through. There's a lake over here to my right that I'll show you in a moment. This one is very tropical inside, very humid, so if the lens of my camera fogs up a little bit, that will be why. Called Pavilion number 12. So of course a park like this dedicated to horticulture and such is really, the variety, the variation of what you see is really one of the most striking aspects. The fact that we started out with those very brightly colored tulips and then moved on to the forest walk and now all of this tropical stuff, and we'll see the bonsais later. Speaking of benches, look at this dynamite model. Oh. I can't guarantee how comfortable it would be for your back, but that is all in iron. Beautiful. Beautiful. Got stuff growing on the wall here. These are the plants that need whatever, they need pink light apparently. I'm sure some people out there know a lot more than I do about why these plants need to be in here with the pink light. I don't know if it's like a UV situation, but these right here are called pitcher plants, I believe. And you can see it is shaped like a pitcher. I understand these are carnivorous plants, a little bit like a Venus flytrap kind of situation, but you can see it's open inside. Open inside, and it's got a little cap. I'd love to see these in action. I guess on YouTube we could find that. I would assume that the insect crawls inside and that little cap closes. And congrats, your dinner. I want to show you the little fish that live here. Tiny little pond. Very peaceful place. And the handful of times I've come into this pavilion, or any of them, almost always alone. So it's always very quiet. You can see the misters. Can you see that with spraying the mist over us? Things about to get moist in here. Okay, onward. Some of them have walkways and you can just move from one spot to the next. Let me take a detour here to show you the lake. I mentioned they have concerts and events and whatnot here. You can see there is a performance space here, the seating. So they can put on some pretty substantial concerts here. And what's really lovely is it overlooks, so to speak, this vast lake. Man-made lake. And the structures in the water are homes for the ducks and the geese that reside here. And the sun is being very accommodating for this episode. So tell me this isn't just an absolutely calming, tranquil way to enjoy a Paris park. There's another smaller event space in the center of your screen, up on the hill. Concert space. So if you put on a big concert, you've got not only the seating that we saw underneath this canopy, but across the pond, across this little lake, you can certainly fit all sorts of people. Over there, by the way, I didn't point it out before, but these trees, even though past their season, these are cherry trees. So you've got cherry blossoms there and over here as well. So that you got to come a little bit more in early April to enjoy that. But that would all be pink, beautiful cherry blossoms up on that hill. Speaking of geese, let's see how close we can get to these geese today. Let's get over to those bonsais I talked about. Be ashamed to promise bonsais and not deliver on it. We'll likely, over in this part of the park, likely see one of the peacocks that resides here, and just, they seem to just be walking around all day. Hello. On your way to the bonsais? All right, here we go. This cute little bonsai spot. Clever, this room here that they use as mostly for maintaining the bonsais, and you can see the gardeners. It's like their little workshop, but it's nice that they gave it the Japanese decor. This is where the magic happens, I guess. I'm one of those people, I've always wanted to own a bonsai, but my track record with houseplants is abysmal, so I'd be so sad if I murdered one by accident. Look at this. Tell me that isn't spectacular. I could stare at that all day. And one thing I noticed yesterday was that they clearly don't need a lot of soil. The roots must be fairly shallow, which we'll see outside. There's an outdoor exhibit space as well. And for example, right here. Clearly, you don't need a huge pot and a ton of soil for bonsais. So that was interesting to note. Look at this beauty. As far as bonsais go, this one is enormous. You can see how humid it is in here right now. All right, here we go. Maybe this is the outdoor version. And every now and then you'll see a plaque that will reference here, for example, that this bonsai was offered to the city of Paris by the city of Kanuma, I assume, in Japan. Educated guess. 2008. Not so educated guess, I should say. 2008 gift to the city of Paris from Japan. And some of these are absolutely adorable. I'm going to zoom in here. Tell me this isn't just, I mean, don't you just want to snuggle this one? Look at how pudgy and cute and, oh. It's like when you see like a cute chubby little dog and you just want to give it a little hug. I think that is so adorable. And I hope I don't sound again like a valley girl. So adorable. Oh my God. Wouldn't you just love to have one of these? Oh. Look at this. Just another great version of meditation. So hopefully you're vibing on the Parc Floral like I do when I'm here, because this is just endless eye candy and very calming. And it goes on and on. Yeah, big fan of bonsais. I talked to one of the employees here. He said that in October they have a bonsai festival, as it were, which I've never attended, but according to him, you can come here during that time, and there are vendors, there are sellers of bonsais that you can purchase and take home. So I gotta say, I'm gonna file that one away for this fall, and I might come through and see what I can do about getting myself one of these. Probably not one of these. Probably can just buy little babies, and then it's your job to make them beautiful like this. Look at this. It's like literally a forest. It's like a mini little forest. And when I say they don't need a lot of soil, look at this. It's not even in a pot. It's just on a plate, a platter. So that's the bonsai section. You have not only an interior one, but an exterior one. Which begs the question, I wonder if certain bonsais do need a more humid climate. And then just when you think it's finished, the bonsais lead directly into the fern pavilion, which we haven't seen yet. Look at these. Just a whole room packed with ferns. And the truth is, I could go on and on showing you all these remarkable details. Like, look at the shape of those leaves. Just mind-blowing, all the variations and the different colors. Here we've got a cute little wall fountain. This fountain's pretty cool. It just makes its way down the wall along the moss and whatnot. But then what they did was they put in these grooves in the water. If I can maybe show you, the water just slowly finds its way into the grooves and makes its way towards a little pond. So it flows through all of those right into this, like that. Look at this. There's a bench there too. Talk about... maybe I should do a series. Could be a photo series. But maybe like the best city benches of Paris. Not only the design of them, but where they're located and what you get to sit among and next to. That could be a pretty good pretty good photo book series. Call it the best bench in Paris or something like that. The little girl wants to try to check out the pond. All right, well, hopefully I give you a good idea of these pavilions and what can be seen. Why don't we exit? Oh, look at the curly cues, by the way, that Linda and I were enjoying yesterday. Beautiful. Love a good curly cue. So nice. Do a little drive-through of the ferns here. Always got to add the sound effects, of course. Okay, exiting the fern section. See if we can find one of those peacocks around here. You can see here, there's an outdoor workshop for kids to learn about plants. As I said, this park was always designed to be a very educational one. He's looking at all the kids down below. I think we're going to see him jump down. Oui, je l'ai eu. The guy asked, did you get it on camera? Oh, these poor peacock has these kids just yelling at it. Just making his way through the crowd. He's staying pretty calm, cool, and collected despite the commotion. So this guy yesterday, when I was here with Linda, opened up his feathers just in all their glory. In fact, maybe I'll pop up a photo that I took. And it was, he just stood there like that for 10 minutes. Just for us, putting on a show just for us. It was spectacular. All right, we won't bother you anymore. Enjoy your day, sir. So we're not even yet to the place that I wanted to finish with, but these were worth a look. There's again, there's just garden after garden within this park. You can see this one goes on, more walkways, more trees, more grass, more flowers, more color. And here you are allowed to walk on the grass. So, you know, these are peonies. Very big, beautiful ones. Yellow, you know, you don't see too many yellow ones, so these ones deserve a little bit of a look. These ones are just getting ready to pop. Yellow, violet, white, red. I believe I saw yesterday that these ones, there's a little plaque somewhere that said that all of these were donated and given as a gift from Japan as well. So if you come here in late April, you'll get plenty of peonies, tulips, azaleas. Of course, all those pavilions are accessible. You can see the Parc Floral certainly earns its name. And you've just got a lush little island of peonies. Okay, so tucked away here is called the Jardin Insolite. Insolite is a difficult word to translate, I find. It kind of means secret, it kind of means unexpected, unknown, hidden. So that's what this one's called, the Jardin Insolite. And you could spend a couple hours in this park and not even manage to find this. So maybe we'll use it as our final lovely stop. You can see the name there. Excuse me. There you go. So as you enter here, look at this. Walk through the little arch. And it's an enclosed space that really feels less like a public park and more like it could be a private residence garden. It's got that cozy enclosed feel with a little greenhouse that we'll take a look at in a moment. A little fence that makes its way around. And there are some vegetable gardens, flower gardens, a couple of benches for good measure. Look at this with a cute little cobbled path to get you there. Let's have a seat on this one. We're always admiring benches, but we're never sitting on one. Let's see, right here. And just chill out right here for a while. That thing in the middle there, in the center, covered up in white, I believe it's some sort of scarecrow or something. Ooh, the greenhouse is open today. It's never been open for me. Let's take advantage of that. So look at this cute little walkway. There's a little Pinocchio type guy here. Yeah, let's see if we can't sneak a peek inside of this greenhouse. Cute little space. Little spot for coffee. Gorgeous. the workers might want to go inside. So maybe we should stop filming it. Yes. Well, you just closed the door of that thing, so I think we took proper advantage of our moment in time. Adorable. There's another bench tucked away back here, just underneath this tree that will be full of leaves, I would assume, later, and this has got to be, and then you've got the fence right across. So if you can see, this is just a perfect secluded spot. Certainly you wouldn't feel like you were in Paris, but you would be feeling pretty good. Let's see the back of the greenhouse. Yeah, it's all shut up again, so we definitely got our one chance of enjoying that open door. Let me show you the rest of this and then I'll sign off. Now for folks who, if you've managed to stick around to the end, thank you for that. Appreciate it. And if you are a Patreon member, today I thought I'd do something like we used to do back in the old days, a live stream chat from my backyard, and I'll tell you why. It's because my backyard is also not looking too shabby, with its own springtime blooms. And those who have been following me for a while know that I am in love with my wisteria that I have in my backyard. And it is absolutely thriving right now. And so I thought that immediately after this, my Patreon members can use the private link I provided on my Patreon site to join me right at the end of this for a live stream chat in real time where you can join me in my backyard and enjoy the wisteria and watch me drink wine and eat snacks and the whole thing. So I hope you will join me for that if you're a Patreon member. And maybe let's finish up with one last view. I don't know if you caught this yet. This little trellis section. Why don't we end? I'm going to sit down here. I'm going to plop you down on the table like so. And maybe we'll finish up the Parc Floral in that way. Thanks everybody for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. What a lovely, lovely time to be here. And I'm very grateful for this park and all the flowers and all of you for sure. So once again, you can switch over immediately if you're a patron to the private live stream chat from my backyard. And I will catch you on the next episode. Thanks everybody and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.